Yo, what's poppin', people? Cobra Star Green back with you guys in another video. Your first time finding our channel, you love movie reviews, TV show reviews, stuff like that. You guys definitely hit the subscribe button. Also, the video. Yes, today we're finally doing our movie review for the new Scream film. I would say a very anticipated film for the year 2022. Now, did it meet expectations? We're going to find out here. Did we like it? Did we not like it? So you're going to find out here. Now, the first time I got introduced to Ghostface was not during Scream. It was during another movie.
You're behind the couch.
What? How do you know that?
So, you know, I got introduced to Ghostface during the scary movies. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't really about anything being scary. You know, they had Ghostface out here kind of, you know what I'm saying, playing jokes. Oh, shoot, you see me? You know what I'm saying? So I was never really truly scared of Ghostface because of that. And it was another reason why I kind of stayed away from Scream movies, because I'm like, well, damn, he's just going to be like this in all the other movies, you know? So I kind of messed up watching Scream first. I'll say that. But I don't know if you want to say something about that.
Yeah, so the first Scream is a meta-textual, contextual kind of parody almost in its own sense of horror genres. It's like a commentary. So there is a bit of humor in it, but it is still its very own intense, slasher. And I really like its aesthetic and its approach. I like its twists and reveals. I like all of its characters. It's great. I've only seen the first one. I haven't seen 2, 3, and 4. I missed out on that. So I don't know too much about the overall franchise, but that first one is a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
But this one, I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah,
we'll get into that later.
We'll get into that. Now, if you guys don't know about these Scream movies, it's pretty much a movie at who did it, who's the killer. And I love movies like that where we're following. I think it was another movie that came out a while back, Murder on the Orient Express. I think it was called, but that one I didn't think they did it right. But do you watch these Scream movies? They know what they're doing. You know, they'll have you hooked on trying to figure out who it is till the very end when they do the plot twist. Now, the original one, you know what I'm saying, our boy here, yeah, he definitely looked like a killer, especially with all that blood on him. But this one, I think I don't know. I could say it. They do a really good job at trying to hide who the killers are or the killers is. But I don't know, because one of them, I feel like one of them kind of gave it away in the second act, but I wasn't too sure. I don't know. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. But the thing I want to say about these movies, man, the director, the writing, they know exactly what they're doing. This is the type of movie you need to see in a movie theater, because this movie was made for movie theaters. Movies like this, where they know exactly how the audience is going to react. You're watching this film, and there are certain scenes where you're following a certain character, and he could be opening up a refrigerator, right? And all you hear is that music, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, okay, there's nothing there. Does it again, it's back. It's like, oh no. You know, they know exactly what they're doing. And I don't even think you're going to get that experience watching it alone. I think you need to watch it in a movie theater where there's a bunch of people around you having the same exact reactions you're having. So, and Scream, the directing, the camera work, they do such a great job. Because it's like the minor stuff that's just like, thank you for doing that right. What you can say about that?
Yeah, seeing it in a movie theater, definitely one of the best experiences for this kind of movie. I think the last time I felt like the audience and the overall horror genre, like I felt like that connected and that invested with everyone's reactions, including my own. Was Get Out. I think that was a good one. But this was so much fun. I think there was a lot of good meta quality to it, where like those kind of moments where it's like, here's a commentary on these like jump scares and how it's kind of ridiculous that we get set up and then it's like, oh yeah, misled. And it's done so well and subtle. There's great subtle moments like that, but there's also very much blanket statements of like, this is what a horror movie would do. This is what a reboot would do. It works for this film and this franchise because it's been born into it as it is. Yes.
Now, one thing I am going to say is, if you guys know about the other slashers, you have Friday the 13th, you have Jason, you have Halloween, and Ghostface, like, you better not forget about me, goddammit, you know, but the reason why I like the Scream movies also at the same time as the other ones, because Halloween, you can even say Friday, kind of take themselves a little bit serious, right? When you watch Ghostface, there is scenes where it's like they're not taking themselves seriously at all. Now I know people are dying, but they're not really taking themselves seriously, and that's why I'm like, and they're playing around a lot, I would say. And they're even making fun of other movies at the same time. They're like, there's certain scenes with certain characters where they're talking, they're like, I don't do that. You know, they're playing around with it. And I'm like, I like that. You know, I like how Scream does that. And it's stuff that other horror movies just don't do. Go ahead.
I think it balances its own serious stories and themes very well with the overall comedy of the moment too. And I think they really feel like interpersonal. I think who's revealed as the Ghostface killer is very interpersonal. Every slash it feels personal too. Every like kill feels personal. I really just admire that, and I think they did justice to what this should be, as opposed to something like, I think, Ghostbusters, the newest one, not just the female reboot, and then Matrix 4. I think like they just kind of they tried, but they kind of missed the point of like what makes bringing back franchise legacy characters.
Yeah, I was just
giving
gonna talk
them
about that.
a sense of purpose.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, if you guys haven't seen Ghostbusters, well, they bring back the original characters in Ghostbusters. This is a spoiler review for this movie, but they bring back the original characters, right? And I didn't think that they did the best. You think they did it terribly. But if you watch it in this one, they bring back these original characters, and when they do it, it's a lot of fan service there, right? Because you, especially how they pop up in scenes. You're like whenever a certain character pops up in a certain scene, it has that dramatic little pause, and you could tell it's like for the audience. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the movie plays for the audience. It does it very well. But yes, they bring back these characters, but they don't just bring them back for stupid reasons. They actually have a stake in the plot here. You know what I'm saying? So they actually do something. That's what I like. Like if you're gonna bring back these original characters, let them do something. Don't have them just be there. You know, it's fan service.
Yeah, let them have a little bit more of a
personality. Do some guy.
Personality.
Characters.
Rather
be characters.
than just kind of bring them in at the last moment like Ghostbusters did. Or with for Matrix 4, the meta commentary just did not work for that exact film because it felt very much like, oh, we have to make this movie and this is what we're going to make. Instead of rather them creating a much more fresh and original idea. I mean, if you don't want to make the movie, like, okay, that's one thing, but like, why are you going to make this movie still and make it as bad as it is? I think this had a sense of purpose, and it felt like it was for the fans, and it was also for I don't know, just like it was for them too. Like they're like, we want to make a good Scream movie. We actually appreciate this franchise.
I would say another thing these movies do really well, and it's not even just this movie. Like a lot of slashers, like they thrive off of stuff like this. It's the kills you see in the film, man. How characters die, and especially be like characters you like, how the hell they'll die, but how gruesome they'll die. You know, Scream does it. I think they did a really great job. It's just like, as I said earlier, the movie don't take it so seriously at all. There's some people that die and it's kind of wicked, and it's nobody. It's like I'm sitting there watching this film and I'm like, bro, no one dies normally. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get stabbed, that should be it. No, with these characters, they gotta do all this dramatic stuff before they die. You know, I'm like, what the hell? Just die. You know what I'm saying? But that goes against my point of, my point of saying it doesn't take itself seriously. So I can't fault the movie for those. You know what I'm saying? For those stuff like that. Now, what I did like is how the movie like moved along. You know, I think how they did the first act, the second act, and even the third act. It's funny because even in the third act, they even say, yo, it's the third act. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I think how they really spaced those acts out and how they did them, I think they did a really great job on that, honestly. Like I didn't even feel the runtime at all, if I'm being honest.
So I was telling you as we were exiting, I said, this is what makes this is what gives it the pass and what makes it work much more in this film as opposed to something like Ghostbusters or Matrix 4, because I think those two things were appealing to the fan service but also in more of a meta contextual way. And when I watched the original Ghostbusters or I watched the original Matrix, even though I'm not a big fan of the Matrix, those had their own inner stories, their own inner themes and stuff like that. But it doesn't feel like it's like, here's this and we're just going to retread it. But with this, it makes more sense because that was the meta commentary of the first one on horror films as a genre. So it's fine with this one. It gets the pass because that is where its roots originated from. So
Yeah, and I think it did a really good job doing that. Now I want to talk about some characters too, because there's a lot of characters in this film, I would say, because they had to make a lot because they don't want you guessing who the killer is. They don't want it to be like two characters and guessing exactly who the killer is. There's actually a lot of characters here. And I want to talk about a certain character. She's pretty much the main character of the film. And honestly, I thought she was a lot younger than what she really is. But let me find her name just really quickly. But she was the main character. And I'm gonna talk about this other character I liked. And this is full on spoiler review, y'all. We about to spoil something. But her name, the main girl, I think her name was what was her name, man? I can't even think of it. I think his name is Melissa, I believe. I think. I'm not too sure, but I think no. Yeah. But she did a great job in the film. I don't know if I said her name right, but she did a phenomenal job. She was the main character. And I like how not only did she do a great job, but they actually connected her to the original Scream villain, and that really tied into the ending of the film, you know? So I think she did a really well job. Another job I thought, well, go ahead.
okay.
You raise your hand like it's class or something.
It's class. Sorry, I just didn't want to rudely interrupt in another way. I wanted to make it more subtle. As opposed to something like Rise of Skywalker, where it's like Rey is a Palpatine now.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything? Why do we care? Why should we care? You should have established it within, I don't know, the second movie or the first movie or something like that. As opposed to this, where it's like, okay, here's a narrative reason why her being the daughter of the first serial killer affects her on a personal level, how it affects her story, how it affects her sister, how it affects everyone else around in their own like little subtle ways. Like there is a purpose given to it, as opposed to like raise a Palpatine just cuz, you know, like who cares? Like these are the things that makes this work. Like this works for a reason. It doesn't have to be like super convoluted too. They simplified it. They said, hey, mom was a drunk. This is the real parent.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
It's funny, during the movie she has like a major PTSD. Yeah. And like she's seeing like her father in the movie the entire time. It's like it's amazing.
She doesn't want to be like him.
Yeah, but we can get into the I said, we get into spoilers, y'all. This is a full spoiler review. The dude next to him, well, I like him as an actor. If you guys don't know, Jack Quaid, I think I say his last name, but I think his biggest role he's played so far is The Boys. He might have been in some other stuff. But I think the what people know him from, at least what I know him from, is The Boys. And he does a phenomenal job on The Boys. And even he does a phenomenal job here as being Ghostface. You know what I'm saying? When we figure out that he becomes Ghostface at the end of the movie, I think he really pulled that off really well. Because he was like menacing, but at the same time, I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, you talking too much. Like that third act, I'm like, bro, just kill somebody. He just talking.
This was
But
I gave it a pass because this is what the first movie did too. With like they were just
toying with everybody.
It was more disturbing, I think, in the first one, and a little. It was just but yeah, they were toying around because it was like play food kind of thing. Yeah, like as we were walking in the cinema, I guessed who it was. Yeah,
we so backstory behind this. There was a poster outside the cinema we went to, and it was like one people with a killer. And literally, Emery just pointed to somebody. It was him. And
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's this guy. I didn't know for certain. I didn't know who he was exactly in the context of the film. But I was like, I'm going to guess it's him. And then as I was watching the film, I was thinking, okay, so if it's two, like in the original first one, which I was guessing that it would be like that, I was thinking, oh, Amber. Amber seems like that. And then, yeah, Bill. And then there was moments where, like, they kind of try to, get you a little distracted from
Yeah.
who it
They
could
make you
be.
think of somebody else.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, it could turn it, but like I had those two in mind pretty much the whole entire time, and that's not to say that it wasn't a good twist or not earned or anything like that. It just was a little predictable for me, which I don't know if this is really a negative or positive for me. I haven't really made up my mind, but regardless, I still enjoyed the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he did a really good job as like this, psycho killer kind of.
Now, one thing I'm gonna say is this movie is goofy. This movie is very, very goofy. There's very stupid moments in the film. All right, now.
Oh, yes,
They're
yes.
very, very, and we'll talk about the original characters coming back also in just a second. But this movie was very, very goofy. There is a certain scene in this movie. You lucky I don't got the clip, but she's the sheriff. What's her name? Mother. Wes's mother, I believe. I think. His mother is like the sheriff, right? She gets on the radio because Ghostface calls her. He's like, yo, I'm about to kill your son, right? And she's literally talking to him, and he's like, or she's like, she gets off the phone with Ghostface, and she's like, hey, everyone, I need you to my house. And I was thinking, shit, her house must be in a black neighborhood because these cops never show up at all. Like, literally, like, she gets there before anybody else, right? And I'm like, are you kidding me? He not only does Ghostface have enough time to kill her, but then he has time to toy around with Wes and kill Wes too before anybody shows up. I'm like, come on now. She's the sheriff, so that's goofy part number one. I got another goofy part, but go ahead. I don't know if you want to say anything on that.
He had a lot of time. He had a whole.
Bro, man, my man had like at least he had at least
3, 4, 5 minutes at least.
He had like at least a half hour. He could mess around.
Like,
Yeah, it was a little wild. And now let's go into this goofy part number 2.
That was a major kind of plot hole, even in the goofiness of the consistency
Like, no
of the
one
story.
shows
Because
up.
in the first act, it's like they established that the cops come and save the sister, and it's like, wow, like, okay, they arrived pretty fast in comparison to this.
Yeah, and then goofy part number 2. So if we first introduced to oh boy, I forgot her name too. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I believe her name is Amber. Is that Amber? The one that was in the beginning where she gets hit first. I think her name was Amber. I believe. We gonna say Amber.
The sister?
Yeah, the sister.
No, that's not her name.
Who's
Amber's the who ends up being the killer.
Not Amber. God damn it. Tara, I think.
Tara, I think.
Tara.
Something like Tana or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tara, I think, and don't get me wrong, she one of those two is in the hospital, right? She's in a hospital bed. And for some reason, the only person at the hospital was a security guard. Now, what do you think happens to this certain security guard? He dies. And I'm like, you're telling me in the middle of the day, there is no other nurses.
Yeah.
There's no other employees. No other security. Nothing.
That really
everybody just gone.
That really bugged me too, because
I was like, everybody just gone.
They're
It's
like,
just her.
oh, we came because like our sheriff was dead or whatever, and it's like, bro, like she's already dead. There's nothing you could do. Go back.
Yeah, I'm like,
protect others. Like
Bruh,
there was already an attack there.
I understand. First of all, y'all was slow to show up to the sheriff's house. So where the heck are the nurses at? Where the heck is? Now I understand if this is late at night, whatever. Y'all get away with it. But this is in the middle of the damn day. And ain't no one there. Ain't no one there.
To be fair, there was one cop there, and
that's what I just said. Like, what is he doing?
Exactly nothing.
Like I didn't. That's just 2 goofy parts. But I let them slide.
I just want one horror movie where dumb stuff like this
don't
doesn't
happen.
I want logical explanations of some of these things.
This movie makes fun of it because there's certain spots in the movie where they're like, oh, you're in a horror movie, you're not supposed to go off by yourself. So they end up going off together. You know what I'm saying? So, but then it's like you have those moments, but at the same time you have these moments too. It's like, what? I don't know. That's just me. That could be just me. But I think everyone did a phenomenal job, especially like all the cast members, old and new. I think everyone definitely wanted to be here. You feel like, you're super attached to these group of friends and you hope all of them end up making it out. Some of them don't, but you just hope they all make it out and stuff like
It
that.
felt
So
like everyone had fun too.
yeah, that's what I was
had,
thinking.
a
I was gonna say that.
blast,
Yeah. It's like everyone, especially Jack, boy. Jack looked like he had a whole lot of fun. But everyone just looked like they just brought their A game, man. And that's what really helps me out. Because I'll see movies where I'll see actors look like they only want to be there, you know, or there for a paycheck. But then you see movies like this where you're like, yes, man, like, yes.
It's
like, you're
so
actually,
much better than Halloween Kills.
Oh,
So much better.
there you go. That's a hot take. But
I don't even think it's that hot. I think it's pretty cold. Like,
yeah, but I think, and then bringing back in the old character, I think really works really well. Now let's talk into the plot twist and everything. So if you guys don't fully know what the plot twist is, well, they said it in the movie, but there's two Ghostface killers, and one of the Ghostface killers ends up being we said one before, but you guys can't really see her in this photo, but it's the girl right here. Her name is Amber. She's one of the Ghostface killers, and it's funny because when she became whenever she was introduced as one of them, and she had her dialogue on why she did it, it was kind of like she just wanted to have fun. It wasn't like she really wanted it.
So
I don't know. Hers is kind of weird.
Their motives, I will say.
Yeah, her motive was kind of weird.
Their motives in general were just really, really weird. And to be fair, in real life, there's a lot of fucking weirdos out there. There's just
true.
so many weird motivations for people. So I'm going to give it a pass, but also at the same time, it also felt like this moment of like, we're going extra meta on this, and I will say, at a moment or two, I can understand what you're saying. Yeah, they're talking a little bit too much about this meta contextual thing. Like, all right, is that it? And that's the whole reason? There was nothing ever more personal? Oh, well, okay, I guess. I'll accept it. It's just a little silly. But, you know, that's fine. I give it a pass because, you know, it's a little silly inherently.
But like I was saying, so Amber ends up being one of the killers, and the other killer, what I said earlier, ends up being Jack. Now, Jack, I guess you could say he's cool, as in his motivations as being Ghostface kind of get justified, because I guess he was in love with the movies, you know what I'm saying? And he was in love with the older movies, so he was kind of like, oh, I want to do this too, you know, I guess.
They wanted to make this
make their own.
They wanted to create this story to make a new movie that would be based off this story, which is, for a psychopath, an interesting thing that I can see happening in real life to some degree. Like,
someone trying
for attention. And yes, I would say that people do things for attention, like school shootings and stuff like that. So I can definitely see this being somewhat of a motivation for a psychopathic couple.
Yeah, but I mean, when you like really look down to it, it's not like the motivation ain't that deep.
It's not that deep. No,
it's not that deep at all. But you know, I would say I enjoyed the plot twist. I enjoyed those two being the killers,
yeah.
and what. Now, like I said, they didn't shut up at the end. They had everybody where they wanted them, and they wouldn't stop talking. They were gonna talk for days unless somebody did something about it. But yeah, when they died at the end, when Amber died, it was so goofy. Like,
it really
like
was.
Okay, I know the thing about these, and they even made fun of it earlier. They were like, "Yo, when you shoot these people, you gotta shoot them in the head. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they're dead, right?" So they come back to that. They shoot Amber twice in like the shoulders or something, and she ends up falling into this fire. Like, she's dead. You know what I'm saying? That's dead. You get shot twice and you're on fire at the same time. Like, it's over, right? No, Amber comes back at the end just screaming. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's why I knew. I was like, it doesn't take itself seriously. So that's pretty much like the plot twist, and even the ending explained is Jack and Amber are the killers, you know what I'm saying, and they end up getting killed. That's pretty much the ending explained. Nothing much to it. Now, do we like the film? I will say, you know what? As my first time watching a Scream film, just in its full entirety, you know, getting super attached to these characters, following their stories. The movie is very, very tense, very suspenseful. and you're going through the entire film trying to figure out, dang, who it is. I'm just sitting there like, could it be him? Oh, could it be her? Could it be him? You know, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking throughout the entire film, and I like a movie that does it. I like a movie where, as the viewer, I'm thinking at the same time as this movie is going on. That's the movie I really enjoy. And I would say how goofy this movie was. There was even some funny moments in this movie too.
Oh yeah.
I think it really nailed it really well. And I think for people that are really like diehard or even Scream fans to a certain aspect, I think you guys will really, really enjoy this film, y'all. I'm gonna be completely honest. My review is I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10. I think, especially for the audience it's intended for, you guys will definitely have fun with this one. Because I definitely had a lot of fun with this one.
Good representation to good plot points. I think good retreads of like what worked in that first film so well. They utilized legacy characters in the proper way, killed them off. Wasn't afraid how they killed them off too. They just really honored everything that I think works about that. At least, in the very least, that original Scream movie. I think you'd have to be a stick in the mud to not enjoy this at least a little bit. I completely enjoyed myself. On the objective rating on how I think they made the film, I would say probably like a 7 out of 10. I do think there was some camera work that could have been better. There was some things here or there that could have been acted better. All that being said, I think as a subjective experience, I enjoyed myself immensely. 9 out of 10 easy for like a subjective viewing. I want to go watch that original Scream movie again. And honestly, I can't say that about... Even The Force Awakens didn't make me want to like be like, oh, I want to go watch A New Hope again. Like, if I wanted to watch A New Hope, I'll watch A New Hope. Like, I think it's the first time where I've been like, wow, I really just want to retread back to that for my own genuine sense of like, I just love this franchise, this movie. I think they did an excellent job here.
You gave your rating on everything?
Yeah, so I would say 9 out of 10 subjectively. Yeah,
there you go.
That's my overall experience with the film. I had a great time.
Yeah, and I definitely think you guys will like it. If you guys do like it, just put it down below. Be like, y'all, I enjoyed the film. I didn't enjoy the film. Just put it down below. Y'all first time finding our channel, hit the subscribe button. Also that video. Tell us your thoughts, complaints, stuff like that on this video. And hey, man, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.